Welcome back to It Ain't Rocket Science. I'm Adam Balkin. Now, baseball has long been one of America's favorite pastimes, and while you're enjoying the game with its hot dogs, peanuts, and Cracker Jacks, there are a whole bunch of people happy to do nothing but crunch the numbers. Our John Weinstein tells us why baseball has increasingly come to count on just one man.
From home runs to batting averages, baseball's always been a game of statistics. But Bill James says those classic measures of baseball performance aren't enough to truly evaluate what's happening on the field.
There's a hunger for better understanding. What I've tried to do throughout all my career is to measure the things that we didn't understand about baseball.
James set out to make America's pastime new. He published his book of newly developed statistics, Baseball Abstract. He's considered the father of sabermetrics, a new statistically efficient way to look at the old ball game, and the inspiration for the critically acclaimed film, Moneyball. His work has been so influential, anyone going to a game could tell you about some baseball statistic.
Favorite statistic would be probably on-base percentage. The amount of times a player gets on base per at-bat, so they calculate like walks and strikeouts and hits goes into it.
If you hit and another player comes in and scores because of what you did, then that counts as a run batted in.
He created many new stats, but his favorite is called win shares, or how much each player contributes to his team's victories.
You have a question and you don't know what the answer to that question is, and so you work on that and the answer will turn out to be a statistic very often.
What started as curiosity became a big business for James. He turned an avocation into a vocation, a very successful one at that. He became a successful partner in a statistics company and was hired as an advisor by the Boston Red Sox. He says it's simple for anyone to follow in his footsteps.
Create knowledge. Look at the world that you enjoy. Look at what you most enjoy doing and figure out what nobody knows, and then figure out how you can find that.
For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm John Weinstein.
We've looked at baseball by the numbers, and now we'll look at how engineering and the forces of nature, coupled with plain physical conditioning, are elevating the level of sport competition. Our Tara Lynn Wagner has a story.
Bats, balls, and helmets. The tools of the national pastime come from somewhere, right? Students and professionals came together at the University of Massachusetts in Lowell to share their research on how it's made at the International Sports Engineering Association's conference. Sports engineering is the science that goes into making and measuring the performance of all different types of sports equipment. For many of the students at the conference, it was their interest in sports that first got them onto the field and into the field of science.
My passion for sports has driven me to look deeper into the science behind it. And I'd say, if you care about how others are going to do in sports, how we can use more protective equipment, help others achieve their goals, it's a great field to go into.
For others, it was an opportunity to learn more about the things they use every day.
I really never thought that, hey, New Balance shoes, well, I wear them every single day, but there's really so much thought and technique behind making them, and there's so much science behind it all. So there's really a lot that I have yet to explore.
Athletics companies invest a lot of time and money into sports engineering. Nike recently developed a new type of tracksuit used at the 2012 Olympics in London that features a special texture and holes in the back to reduce a runner's wind resistance. Students here may have aspirations of helping develop this kind of technology, but they say one of the most important things for young athletes is to keep playing the sports they love.
When you have a really great grasp on the sport and why you love it, then you can start maybe thinking about science and starting to think about different kinds of materials that go into it, maybe the physics behind it. So getting into those subjects and realizing that there's so much more to the subjects than just the basics that your teachers are teaching you.
For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Tara Lynn Wagner.
Niagara Falls in and of itself is awe-inspiring, but imagine taking a tightrope walk over that cascading water. Well, this past June, aerial specialist Nick Wallenda did just that, but you can be sure that before stepping on that wire, he and his team immersed themselves into the disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and math. Our Meg Rossman tells us, with so much at stake, nothing was left to chance.
After a tutorial on wire walking from the man himself, 8th grader Lorenz McLean is confident Nick Wallenda will make it safely across the Horseshoe Falls.
I think it was really interesting though. Nobody has ever tried to attempt it.
Walenda gave local students a rundown on the science and engineering behind what he'll try to attempt, explaining the rigging process and all the equipment that goes with this 15,000-pound wire.
This is the first time in the history of tightrope walking that anyone's rigged a cable this long without any stabilizers.
Now, Walenda's engineering team explained the cable isn't actually a cable at all, but rather a steel rope with 6 bundles of wire wrapped along the outside of it. Each of those bundles contains 49 wires and a rope core consisting of an additional 49. It's so strong it would take a weight of about 396,000 pounds to break it.
Walenda's wire was towed across the Niagara Gorge by helicopter, after which crews carted along the wire that's only 2 inches in diameter to attach weighted pendulums, vital to Nick's success.
Those are made to keep that wire from twisting under my feet. Is what happens if those aren't there. As I would walk this wire, the wire would just simply spin out from under my feet.
There's currently about 2,300 feet of wire stretching from Terrapin Point to Table Rock in Canada, though Walenda will only walk about 1,500 feet of that. Despite the technical background, Walenda says his biggest challenge will be Mother Nature.
You can see there's a lot of seagulls, a lot of mist and stuff that could distract me, but it's important that I'm extremely focused.
For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Meg Rossman.
Coming up, students from across the globe entered to compete in the 2nd annual Google Science Fair, but only a select few made it to the finals. We'll take you to Google headquarters. And
Bazinga!
It's that blend of science and fiction that keeps The Big Bang Theory and its star Jim Parsons a primetime ratings winner. Stay with us. We'll tell you what science career the talented actor had in mind for himself as a youngster in Houston. For more information about Time Warner Cable's Connect a Million Minds initiative, visit www.connectamillionminds.com during the break.